So, guys, let me present our next speaker. Sorry. While he connects his laptop. Snir will tell us a little bit about universal apps and how he builds them with Nuxt.js, right? And 2 facts about Snir that you didn't know. One of them, actually, Yaron already said it. He was a student of Yaron somewhere in the past. And the second one, his cat named Jim. George, I was so close. So, you have the mic? Go on, dude.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk in English, but I'm not Yaron and Johnny. Okay, I'm gonna try and talk in English, but I'm not Yaron and Johnny, so excuse me and tell me if you can't understand me. So this is a short talk, a lightning talk, about 15-20 minutes. Yeah, I'm told. Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze a lot of information into this talk. So if I'm running too fast, stop me. And questions, let's save it for later. Okay. So what we're gonna do today in this talk, I'm gonna talk about production-ready apps, specifically with Nuxt.js. Who am I? So. Like Dima said, I'm Snir Shechter. I'm 25 years old. I'm the team leader of the front in Monolith. Our company is doing all kinds of digital solutions, all in-house. All in-house from digital strategy through design and development, of course, back and front end. We're located in Netanya and we're hiring if you're JavaScript experts. Okay, so SPAs, Vue is really great, but it has 2 major flaws. First of all is the poor performance. So Vue and SPAs in general are very performant, but relatively, when speaking about, when talking about the first page loads very slow. The steps to load it is, first of all, the files download, then they render. The JavaScript sends a request to the server, maybe, if you have some dynamic data like products or any articles or something, and then it's received back in the client and re-renders. So that's very, very slow compared to, let's say, just an HTML file. And the second problem relates to it is the SEO. So when the HTML is empty, there are no meta tags. Google can't scan it. Today, Google does scan JavaScript, but it does not promise it will scan it fully. It will not execute fully. And even if it does, the async data we requested will not show up. And indexing is not the only problem. The other problem we have is ranking, right? The ranking will be very, very low. We won't show up on Google, and that's a pretty major problem for most websites. So what's the solution? The solution is a universal or isomorphic apps. What is it? Universal means it can run on 2 or more platforms or environments. In our case, it's the browser and the server. Okay, so let's see what it costs to build one in Vue. Or first of all, let's see how it works. Okay, so we have yeah. Single page application. So when you build something with Vue, you load it once, and then you have routes inside the application. You don't refresh. That's single page application. Sorry, this talk is pretty advanced, so stop me. Like if I'm going too fast. So we have Mr. Client in the browser. He sends a request to our server. And, we have 2 servers here. They can be 1, but let's simplify it with 2 servers. The first request goes to our front-end server, and instead of just delivering the files, what he does is compiling the code, running the JavaScript code. gets the data he needs from the API server, if he needs anything, compiles the code, builds the HTML, and sends it back to the browser for the client to see. From that point on, the client runs the JavaScript, and the HTML is already displayed before the JavaScript runs, so Google can scan it. So he runs the JavaScript, and from that point on, it goes into SPA mode. The client side takes on the data, takes on the HTML, it clings to it, and just moves on from the point the server stopped. Okay, in Vue, it's the before mounted. Before mounted runs already in the client side, and before that, if we render it in the server, it's the server side. Okay, so after that point, routing is internal in the browser, no refreshes, and the API goes straight. Okay, so as it's written, it's SEO friendly. It preserves the SPA capabilities, and of course, fast time to content. So what it costs to build one in Vue. So we have a small table here, just the must that we wrote, and what it costs. So first of all, we'll need a basic server rendering, and that's done with the Vue server render library. It's an official library, and two different entries. The first one is the server. The server renders the Vue HTML to a string, and the client renders it in the DOM. It costs 36 lines of code, a full-fledged server that we need to write and to maintain, and 3 files. Simple server, an express server, but yet a server. And the routing, the middleware, the routing. Let's say we have a non-logged in user. We need to return him the error page, or maybe the logged in page, not the other page, or just an error. So that costs us 21 lines of code and 9 lines of code per page for the middleware. And of course, the middleware is duplicated, once for the server, for the express middleware, and one for the route guards we have in the client side. And it costs 2 files also. So we have more stuff here. It's basically just the must. And as you can see, 267 lines of code and 12 lines per page. That's just something we tested on our one of our projects. And server, 5 files and 3 repeating duplications. So that's pretty hard. Maybe a simpler solution. So that's Nuxt, and what I want to talk about. And Nuxt is basically a higher level framework. It means it's built on Vue. It's Vue, and you write in Vue. And it simplifies development, especially in SSR, server-side rendering, especially in universal apps, but also in many other forms. It's built by Vue core team members and the Chopin brothers, 2 brothers that build it, and inspired by NuxtJS. NuxtJS is a similar framework for React. Okay, so from the docs, it says, Nuxt.js main scope is UI rendering while abstracting away the client server distribution. What it means is you write one code and it runs on both ends without you noticing it or having to handle it. Okay, so this is Sébastien Chopin. He's one of the creators. I don't know if you'll hear it. Okay. Okay, wait. So maybe later. Mike, can you try? I'll continue, and in the end, maybe. So he gave a small video for us, so we'll watch it later. What are Nuxt's features? So Nuxt has many features. It's a really full-fledged framework. It has many cool stuff, simplifies many things. I'll concentrate on a few. First of all is the modes, as you can see on the left hand, higher left. Nuxt has 3 modes. One is universal, like we talked about. it renders one on the server on the first request and then goes into SPA mode in the client. The second one is full SPA mode when you don't need SSR and you want to keep your development environment the same. We use it sometimes in our apps. And the third one is a generate mode. Okay, so generate mode is kind of hybrid. What it does is you build your app. It gives you many files that are static, but it does the SSR once. So you have static files with HTML and everything. You can go put them on a S3 or Netlify. They are fully SEO friendly. It's mostly for static content, and it's really great. We use it also in our smaller apps. And second, of course, universal routing and universal data hydration. It's a really big problem if you check it in the official SSR docs of Vue. It's a really big problem, but here it's very, very simple. You barely use it, barely do anything. You just write one function, it gives you the data abstracted behind the scenes. Moreover, we can see that it's, of course, crawlable. It's very fast, super fast. You'll see it in a second if we have the time. And the development is very easy. It comes with all the libraries, official libraries you'll want, and many other, Vuex, Vue Router, Vue Meta, Axios, Polyfills, and Vue Server Render. It's all the basics. I suppose you all use it in all your projects. It's highly modular, so you can use anything there. You can change, starting from the SSR hooks through service workers, auto-injected sitemaps and everything. It has auto code splitting, which is really great. You don't have to do anything about your code splitting. It uses a next page strategy. If you have a link to a next page or somehow you can go, it fetches it. We'll see it later. And that's just for starters. So let's code. Hope I'll go like Yaron. So the CLI is really great. It's not the Vue CLI, but it's also very powerful. We built one similar in our company. Okay. So this is just a Nuxt template. It's the basic. I've added some CSS like Yaron, but no more. What? No, not cheating. Only time. Okay. So it's already, yeah, just a second. I'll try to duplicate. You can see something. Yeah. Okay, so this is loading. It's a really cool loader. It's new on Nuxt. And let's see. So we have some new folders here. You might not know. They're usually not coming with Vue, but let's see. The pages folder is, of course, used for pages, and it auto-loads the pages and builds the router config. So I don't have to use any router config. Let's see. So this is the index page. Let's build another page. Let's call it in the exotic name about.vue. And I have snippets of my own. Okay, so this is the about page. And surely enough, it renders. This is the about page. And I didn't do anything. As you can see, I just put the file in the right folder and it built it. Let's check the console. Okay, let's check the source files. Okay, so if I'm refreshing and I'll print it, as you can see, VueJS Israel Meetup, Nuxt.js, you don't have those in normal Vue apps. And as I said, Google can scan it and give us good ranking. Okay, so let's try and bring some data from the server, maybe. Okay, so another snippet. This function is called async data. It's a function you can put on every page, and I put here very simple. We have a process object available in both the client and the server, and we have a server Boolean that says if we're in server or not, and depends on it, I render the text. You can see it? Can you see it? Maybe I should. I don't know how. Yeah, it's with the wheel, but I don't have a mouse, so. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the async data. It's a normal view component, as I said, and async data is a function, and I'm calling the console log and returning a text hi. And let's put it in the page, yeah? Put in H2, and I'll put in text, and I'll course, prettier, my worst nightmare. And I'll go to the about page and hi from client because I moved from the client. And when I refresh, guess what? Hi from server. Yeah, and you can see, maybe you can't see because it's small, but you can see on the lower left hand, I'm being executed. This is the console log I've written. And if I put it here, so I'll go to the home page and return to about. I'm being executed here also. Wait, I'll zoom that too. And what it means is that it ran our JavaScript code. Our view component just ran in both ends. Okay, but that's fine. Let's try something. Hold on. Let's try put a layout. A layout is very useful. It's a template for the pages. Let's say I want to show a different color, background color for logged in or non-logged in users. It's very common, but in Vue, we don't have a solution for it because Vue is very generic and it should be. But here we do. So let's call it in the exotic name.
Sorry, can you enlarge the font size? Because it's really hard to look at it.
Yeah, enlarge where? Enlarge what? Font
The
size.
side, like
What?
zoom
of
in
the
a
text,
bit.
Of
Yeah,
the code?
text and everything.
Yeah, okay. Just 1 second. I have a snippet. Don't want you to look. And okay. So I wrote it. And enlarge. That's, I can't enlarge the files. So the file structure, so it's very small. I checked. Team Lavan. You want to help me? Come help maybe? Okay. Yeah, I have no idea how to do it. You can see? Okay. So I've just made a new component with the text, and it has a color, orange red, and the background, which is light blue. It's a normal component, the view component like everything else. I put it in the layouts folder, which is a special folder also. And I put in it a special component, which is called Nuxt. That's the router view of Nuxt. So put it here, and it does nothing now because I didn't put it in any page. And let's put the about page. Let's go to the home and put the about page. I'll give it a layout, which is called the light blue, the one we've written. And see, I didn't use any config. I didn't do anything. And I'll go to the about page, and you see this layout is light blue. This is the about page. Hi from client because I moved from the client, but if I refresh, still from the server. And it changed the layout, which is very comfortable. We also have middleware. I won't go over it, but we have middleware, which is a folder. I can put global middleware or a middleware specific for pages. It runs on both ends, as I said, and it's like the async data, but more generic. Code splitting. Okay, so code splitting, like I said, very nice. We're in the home page. Let's create another page. I'll call it contact. And snippet of a normal component. And okay, this is the contact page. And I want to show you something. Yeah, okay. Sec. Okay, normal page, 3 links, text, and let's refresh and see see the network. Okay, so I refresh, I get lots of JS files. This is the code splitting. Okay, so it brought me the index.js file for. Let's see if I can zoom that too. Can't zoom that. Okay, but it brought the pages, the index page. You can see it. Can you see it? Okay, so it brought me the index page, which is the one I'm seeing, and also the about page. Why? Because I have the link to the about page here. And look, the about page here has a link to the contact page. Okay, so when I move to the about page, look how awesome. It brought me the contact page automatically. It's not a big deal in Vue, but it needs to, you need to work on it. And here it's automatically. One last thing before we're finished. Okay, I'm building a JavaScript file, a normal JavaScript file in a folder called the store. That's the Vuex. Okay, and I think I have one for this too. Yeah. Okay, and I'll zoom in. Okay, so normal JavaScript file, state, mutations, actions, getters. Why the state is a function? Because of what we talked before. I don't know if you remember. Data leak preventions. It was in the table. Sorry, we didn't talk about it. And then data leak prevention. If I put the state as an object, it will persist between users, and it will just leak out. You can bring sensitive information to different users. All users will receive the same state. So it's a function, and it's run automatically. Look, I didn't do anything, just exported all these four and put a name, Snir, my name. And let's see if we can use it. Okay, so let's put, let's say, in the async data. Okay, I'll bring the store. This is the context in the async data. Wait, I'll enlarge it more. Okay, the context, and my name is in context dot state. Yeah, that's the Vue state dot data. Why? Because I put the file as data, so it's now a module. It's now loaded as a module. Dot name, that's the state, and I can put it here, and I'll put the name, and hope it works. Didn't check. Okay, cannot read property. What? Context store, yeah. Should have had a snippet for that too. Okay, hi from server, Snir. So hi from server, and it means that my name is received from the server too. Right here, Snir. Large. Snir. So that's about it. You see, no Vuex config, no pages config, automatic layouts, automatic code splitting, many more features. I hope we'll have a chance to talk about it in the next talk. And let's get back to the presentation. Summary. Okay, so SPA is not SEO friendly. If you're building let's say an admin app or something, it's fine. If you're building a Ynet or anything, not fine. The only solution is a universal app for now, and it's pretty cumbersome in Vue. So I recommend, if you need SSR, you can use Nuxt. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Snir. It was the shortest, almost the shortest talk, and it was very informative. Do you have a question, guys? Something about Nuxt? Nuxt going once. Nothing? Nothing. So let's thank again Snir.
Maya.
About the video that Snir wanted to show, so we will share the slide later on.
Yeah, I'll just say, Sébastien Chopin, the creator, wrote us, he filmed us just a video. It was nice, but you can't see it now. I'll post it later.
Thank you. So guys, I want to thank a couple of amazing speakers, Jonathan and Yaron and Snir, that took the time and prepared everything, their talks, and enlightened us with interesting information. And I want to thank our hosts for this great meetup, Cloudinary. And I want to thank you guys that came and hopefully had a good time and learned interesting stuff and met cool, interesting people. So thank you very much. I think a good clap for you guys. It's a good thing.